Jay here with Dirt Bike TV. We have some, I think, a real treat for you. It's a real treat for us. We're doing a bunch of different trail rides this summer, and we're starting off with a dual sport trip up in the mountains. So that'll be the first video we put out, is a dual sport trip. We got Spencer, my son-in-law B, and myself all riding very cool dual sports. This is our 350 we just did with Dirt Rider. That's a really cool bike. And then we have another 350 and then a 450 EXT as well. All these bikes are 17 or 18, so they're all getting to be a little bit older, but it's still great bikes, and we fix them up really nice. We don't do a ton of dual sport riding, but as you can see in some of this footage, we go to some amazing places. It's really a fun time, and guys are always asking, should they dual sport? And of course we think, yeah. We did the thing of talking about if you're too old to dual sport, and I don't know that, I don't think that I'll ever hopefully be too old to dual sport. So you're going to check out some really cool footage of us on some asphalt, dirt roads, and then a bunch of single track is what we're hoping to go find out today in the Sierras right now. Okay, so here we are, right along this river right here in the Mammoth area. It's a hot springs. You can see that different colored water is very hot. Pretty cool area.
First of all, the dual sports in especially the western region and in California help you to get out to these just huge, wide expanses. There's no place else you can go see this much ground we cover. We didn't do huge rides, but we did 70 miles or so in a day, and we try to do as little asphalt as possible. And just sticking to dirt roads like this, even these can be really fun. And you can see a lot of pretty things, as you can see here. You're able to see just so much vastness, and that's what I love about the dual sports. That was a good shot of our double take mirrors, which we leave set up. And right there was a shot of a tweaker camping out in the middle of nowhere. So that's always fun and interesting to see. I used to be kind of against dirt roads, like thinking that dirt roads aren't any fun. But when you get on a smooth dirt road and you can ride side by side, as you can see here, I'm pulling alongside Spencer. We can gap out the dust this way. And we're trying to, of course, be safe and really look for anything coming. But it can be really fun on these two-track roads to go connect stuff. It can be fun, and we discover really neat things. This pit, or X mine here, when we looked on Onyx and from the sky, it looked like a sand pit. We're like, we should make our way over there. So we made a waypoint, made our way over to it, and of course it wasn't a sand pit. This mine had a lot of mining out of it for years of whatever rock they were taking out of here, but it wasn't sandy. From the sky, it looked to be a lot more sandy, and it looked like it'd be fun to go play in. But it wasn't. But it was kind of neat to see something like this up in the mountains. And as you can see, the tree line and the mountains far away, it was fun to go play in there a little bit and look around and then move on to our next location. The forest is just really, I gravitate towards the forest and seeing these types of things. And being from the western part of the country here, just love always being in the forest, and you come across bears and other animals all the time. And getting onto some legal single track is pretty fun. And so you can see that you can still have fun. A lot of this trail maybe isn't as epic as some of our more trail stuff that we do in Utah, Idaho, Montana. But for being in the western region and being in California especially, it's kind of we got to be really grateful that we have this to even ride today. And the dual sports help you get to these areas a lot easier because you can ride legal roads and dirt roads to get there, where otherwise you'd be trucking to these little sections, and it wouldn't be worth trucking your bike just to these off-road sections that have the good single track. And we found quite a bit more single track this trip than we ever have because of Onyx. Honestly, that helped us find and locate some of these trails that we hadn't been able to find in the past. Also, the dust in the mountain areas, dust is a real issue. Now, one of the things here, compared to, say, the Kennedy Meadows is an area in California that gets ridden a lot. There, we would have to wait 4 or 5 minutes in between guys when they leave on the single track to gap out. In the Eastern Sierras here in end of June, we wait 20 seconds. I wait 20 seconds behind Spencer, and he's faster, of course. If I wait 15, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, then I can catch up and kind of stay out of his dust as he's pulling away from me a little bit, and then do the same with my son-in-law. He takes off behind me. That's how we tend to gap out, is the slowest guy in the rear, and the front guy is going the fastest, and he's pulling away from us and we're chasing his dust, so to speak. And the dust isn't too bad. And a lot of these trails aren't as whooped out and beat up as we get in a lot of areas like I say, Kendi Meadows. So Mammoth in that area has some little golden, nuggets of areas to find, and you just have to go find them. And as you can see, especially this footage on this GoPro, make it look as good as it looks here. It really is that beautiful. It really is so nice to be able to get on this single track and go cruise around. And when we're in the dual sports, we have a little bit different mindset, being mainly motocross guys, and we're by no means hard enduro guys at all. We're motocross guys at heart first, and then kind of trail riders, and then dual sport would be our next thing that we like to do. And that goes for Spencer too. I think he's on the same mindset as far as that's kind of our order that we like to do things. With him being up in school in Utah, we're doing a lot more trail riding up there, and then into Idaho. We're going to be exploring on these next videos that are coming out. Flowy, fun single track, and then we can lead right into a fun hill climb that Spencer's able to find, and you can see Spencer pinning it to make it up. In the soft terrain, we mainly run these K950 Dunlop tires, but in the soft sandy stuff, it can be a lot. Here's Spencer's riding up our son-in-law B's bike the last part of the trail, so he was very grateful for Spencer helping out. We came into some really neat areas. This place is called Obsidian Dome, and just piles of rock. I have no idea. It does not look like it's been mined. It looks like it's just piles of rock, like God just left piles of rock in different spots. And people have kind of made paths through here to hike up, or I think a long time ago they were able to take Jeeps up there. Right now you're pretty much just riding your bike in there or hiking in. This is one of the peaks we made it up to. Just such a great feeling to get up to these high spots. And the cooler temperatures in late June were nice. And we did get a little hot, and I was a little tired, so I had to pull over, take some Advil, cool off in the creek a little bit. And at this campground here, it was great to do that. The lakes, Mammoth Lakes, is known for its lakes. And this is just a great shot. Right at the end of the day, we went up to the Twin Lakes area, and just so nice to see this. And it was getting pretty cold this night, and still really fun. Of course, one of the easiest and nicest things about a dual sport is being able to just go gas them up at the gas station. You don't have to bring gas with you on your trips. You just go to the gas station. Unfortunately, gas prices are crazy, right? But at least we're able to go do that easy. That makes it nice. And we are riding a little bit more asphalt and roads when we need to. We're becoming a little bit more comfortable and confident with that. I think that comes with experience and training. We haven't done a lot of that. Here's some crazy guy passes Spencer, and Spencer's going 52, it looks like, so it's not too bad. He was on a regular knobby, so he's trying to take it a little easy. I was on a street legal K950 tire, which works really good on this asphalt. Durability is good, but like I said, on the sandy sections, maybe a little, it doesn't like that as much in those sandy hill climbs. But in the rocks and the asphalt, thing works amazing. So I would have no problem recommending that dual sport tire to anyone who's doing just a lot of regular dual sporting. I think the only place it might suffer is in bad mud and deeper sand. Those double take mirrors are sure nice on those asphalt roads. This is one of the peaks that was at 10,200 feet range at the top of the mountain, and it's just, you can see the views are incredible. Looking over towards Yosemite, just so cool to be able to go do that nice and easily. You can take a Jeep up to this area, but it would be very difficult and take you a long time. I think a Jeep would take, a couple hours, where the bikes take 20 minutes, to be able to go hit this road and get up to these nice peaks. And you can even see in the distance, you can actually see the Mammoth Mountain ski area carved into the mountain there. That's pretty cool to see. Again, on the roads, I used to be more shy of connecting trails on roads, but with the dual sports, that's the biggest advantage of having a dual sport, is being able to connect trails legally. And in areas like California, and especially Mammoth, a lot of these areas, they're looking to give you a ticket if you're not riding legal. And that can lead you right to single track like this. And this is a new section that we found this year that was just really fun. Spencer found this on Onyx, and legal single track little section. It's one of those sections where it probably wouldn't be worth it to load up your trail bikes just to go ride just this section, because in an hour or two you'd have ridden everything back and forth. In probably a couple hours you could ride everything back and forth. But with your dual sports, when you're working into a whole day's trip, it makes it really well worth it to be able to go hit these kind of cool single track trails. The mountain lookouts everywhere are amazing, and we stopped by the fish hatchery, which is one of our favorite spots. Found a little lake really close to town that we'd never seen. It's just a kind of a stagnant lake that just is runoff, and really close to that lake we have little marshes on some of the roads. And as we pull into town, there's just so many sights to see, and very easy to get around town with the dual sports. On this trip, it was mainly a family trip, but we still got a good amount of rides in. We went out like 4 times on the dual sports and worked it into the trip, and it was just a blast to be able to go out. And it's a great destination, and you just have to be prepared for the dust and have good routes set up. And I think keeping your group small, we had 3 of us, which is great. I think 2 or 3 people is great. If you had a big group in these conditions, I think you'd be waiting a lot for other people, potentially losing people. So that's something I would look for. One of the really nice ends of our trip was we rode over to the car wash, washed our bikes, got them all kind of prepped and ready for the journey home, so that when we got home, a lot less work for us. We had to do oil changes and air filters and all that when we got home, but it made it a lot easier.
Okay, so we think that's a wrap on our Mammoth adventures. It's been a blast. As we said in the video before, earlier, this thing, we are not true dual sporters, but we've had a great time. The K950 Dunlop tire worked really well. It works really well on the asphalt, on all the gravel roads, all that stuff. In the rocks, it works amazing. The only place it didn't shine was in the deep sandy stuff, which there is some of that on some of the tougher trails that we would hit into, that were some of the Jeep stuff they've torn up a bunch. Our bikes perform flawlessly. We had an amazing time, and it's kind of turning us into potential dual sporters. Obviously, with my age, that's where I'm heading eventually. But it is a blast to be able to go out and see scenery like this, and to be able to do so in a place like California is kind of unheard of. So, and there are much better places probably to dual sport, but this was worked into a family vacation trip, and so we were able to take little pockets of time to go out for a few hours, go out for 2 hours, 4 hours. We did a 5 hour or so. So we've had a great time. Spencer, my son-in-law B, we've had a good time. What'd you think, Spence?
It was good.
Okay, B, you had fun?
Awesome.
Okay, everybody had fun. We'll see you later. Have fun.
Nice.
Fun.
OnX Off-Road. Know where to go with the #1 GPS app. Access 500,000 miles of trails and roads, open dates and public lands. The elite version even shows landowners and property boundaries. Download the OnX Off-Road app. To save 20%, use the discount code DBTV1.